Number 3. Number 2. 22b2 by the Mishnah. The last thing, just to recap the last thing that we said, the Mishnah has said that if a guy got a certain amount of malchut, he got a certain amount of lashes, and after he got a certain amount of lashes, they said that, you know what, we made a mistake he can't handle anymore, right? They estimated that he could get 39, and then he was able, and then he got 10. And after he got 10, they said he can't take 39. He can take only 25. Really, they never, right? They estimated 39, and then after they get 39, they said, good morning, let's say, because everything has to be in numbers of 3, divided by 3. They said he can handle, he can handle only 30. He can't handle 39. They gave him, let's say, they already gave him 10 lashes. So he said he's off the hook. If he can't get the original estimation, and he already got part of the punishment, he doesn't have to get any more. What? Once they started. The indication is that they didn't start yet. They made an estimation he could get 39, and then they didn't start, and then by the time they started, they said, he can't take 39. He could take 25. He could take 30. We would give him 30. The only reason why he gets off the hook is because once they started, and he got disgraced in the court that he already got lashes, that's when he gets off the hook and doesn't have to get the rest of the list. But if they did not start, they said originally he could do 39. They didn't start yet, and they reassessed and said he only could get 30. He will get 30. That's the implication. Is that clear? Because the only time he gets off the hook is if they started giving him the lashes, and then they changed their mind about the amount of lashes that he's supposed to get. But then the Gemara says we have a different case that says that if they merely estimated 39, and after they estimated 39, they changed their estimation. And they didn't even give him lashes yet. And we say he's off the hook. So it's a contradiction, the Gemara says. One place it says the only time you're off the hook, if there's a change in the estimation, is only when they started giving the lashes. But if they didn't start the lashes and the change of estimation, they get the new estimation. And one place it says that even when they did not start any lashes, he's off the hook. This person is an expert in the court, and they look at the guy. They see how the guy's doing. They see how the guy is doing before they start administering the lashes, and they see how the guy is doing while they're administering the lashes. And that guy says they're not going to be able to make 39. It depends. Lashes, it's capped at 39. Lashes are dependent on how much a person can handle. Meaning you can't go more than 39. Let's say you have a person who can only handle 9, you give him 9. Let's say you have a 110-year-old man. But he's accused of it. If we're dealing with lashes, it's 39. It's the same punishment. It could be one guy might have eaten pork, one guy might have used a razor on his beard. It doesn't make a difference it's 39. But 39 is only the cap, max. Every person comes to the court, they say, how much can this guy handle? Could he handle? Maybe he only can handle 3 lashes. But the penalty is 39. But they try to give him as much as the 39 at the starting point, to give him as much as the 39 that he can handle. But whatever he. So we're gonna discuss that soon. We'll get to that case today. So the Gemara's question is if it seems to be a mistake in the estimation. One place we said the mistake in the estimation, it works for the benefit of the victim. I don't say we call it victim, the perpetrator of the crime is only once the perpetrator of the crime started getting lashes. But if there's a change in the estimate before he gets the lashes, there is no benefit to him because he's just going to get that lower estimate. You got the case back to me? We have 2 cases. We have one case, the court made an estimation. He can handle 39. He's a strong guy. They started giving him the lashes, and in the middle, at some point, they said he's not going to be able to handle 39. We see it's too much for him. But again, the 39 were administered in one sequence. 1, 2, 3. And they thought he can't handle 39. They originally said he's a strong guy. He works out every day. He can handle 39. I was at a wedding last night. The Khatan didn't sit down for the whole dancing of the first dance. It's unbelievable. I don't know what kind of shape he was in. Unbelievable shape. And he was a little older. He could have gone, who knows how long he could have went dancing. So people are amazing. Good morning, Adam. Welcome back. People are in amazing shape. So there's a guy that's 39. They tell him he can handle 39 lashes. And then you know what? When he starts getting the lashes, you see he can't really handle it. In middle, when they got to the midpoint, at, let's say at 15, at 20, they said he's not going to make 39. His life is in danger. I mean, we're not there to kill the guy. We're there to give the guy lashes. We're not letting it kill him, right? So what do we do now? We get up to 20, and we realize that he can't handle 39. So we say he's off the hook. Finish. You're at 20, you can't handle 39, you stop now, no more. We don't even give him, even if you can handle 30, we don't give him 30. We stop at 20, we stop at wherever we realize we have to change our estimation, we stop at that point. Okay? Jaime, good morning.
Morning.
We're just talking out the last thing that we spoke on Friday, because the time was limited. On Friday when we had to stop, so I want to make sure everyone gets this last point that we said yes Friday. Before we talk about the Friday, maybe for a second, we should just mention we're looking to make a siyum. We're planning to make a siyum finishing the Masechta, and we are looking. There's 2 dates that we're looking at the moment. If it has to change, we'll change it. Question is, what works best for most people? We're talking about a week from this Thursday, which is the 9th, or the Sunday that follows the 9th, it might be the 13th. Those are the 2 dates that we're talking about. Next Thursday night or the following Sunday, right? It would be away Sunday. The Thursday night works for you. So one Thursday night doesn't work for Dr. Navid. So we have to figure out most people's schedule. So we'll talk more about it as we, and if we have to figure out an alternate date, we'll figure out an alternate date. So we have to figure out the Thursday. Meanwhile, the 2 ideal dates are next Thursday night or the following Sunday, or Sunday 3-4 days later. Okay, I think it was sent to the chat, to the group. People can respond to the chat to say what date works best for them. So getting back to the last thing that we said on Friday, we said if the court made an estimation, and then the court, after they made the estimation, while they were giving the guy lashes, they saw that he can't handle the full original estimation, he's off the hook. And the Gemara indicated the only reason why he's off the hook because they started giving him the lashes. But if they did not start giving him the lashes, if they just made an estimation and they re-estimated, and then they saw that he cannot handle the 39, it will get the new estimation. You got that? The only reason why he gets off the hook, if they estimated 39, and they started giving him 39, and at 20, they saw that he can't. They haven't started, but they realized that they realized they originally said 39, but then they say he's not going to be able to handle 39. But they can handle 30. Will they give him the 30? So implications, they'll give him 30. And then the Gemara says that's the implication. As long as they didn't start their lashes and they changed their estimation, they'll give him a new estimation. He's off, and he gets after 3, he's off, right? Then we have a different writer that says that if they change their estimation, even if they didn't start giving him the lashes, he's off the hook. Even if he didn't get 1 lash. They made an estimation 39, they didn't start, and then they said, you know what? He's not going to be able to handle 39, only 30. We say at that point, they don't even give him anything. Why? That's the Gemara's question. And it's a contradiction to what we said before. So the Gemara answered, is it all depends when they when they reassessed them the second time, was that on the same day that the first estimation happened, or was it on a different day from the first estimation? And that's where the Gemara makes the difference. What's the difference? If it's on the same day of the original estimation, let's say they made an estimation in the morning that he can handle 39. Then in the afternoon, and now they're ready to about to give him the lashes in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, they say he can't handle 39. He only can handle 30. It seems to show that the first estimation was wrong. But at the same day that there should be a change is usually an indication that the first, what they estimated wrong, usually in the same day, there's not such a change in the person that he should not be able to handle the original estimation. Because he's made that estimation at 10 o'clock in the morning, and now at 12 in the afternoon, you want to say that he can't handle that first estimation. So if the first estimation was wrong, so then we go with the second estimation. But if the second estimation was done on a different day, the following day from the original estimation, or a day or 2 days later, so then that does not show that the original estimation was wrong. And maybe the original estimation was right, except he got weaker in the day or two. Then we're going to be more lenient because it wasn't a mistake in the estimation. And the estimation was correct, the original estimation. And therefore there's an embarrassment. And the fact that there's an embarrassment that he's going to get that a certain amount of lashes, that's enough to get him off the hook. That is what the Gemara wanted to say. Okay, now we're in the new Mishnah. Ava Avera, 22b, the Mishnah. Ava Avera sheish b'shnei lavim. A person violated a sin that has 2 sets of lashes. Like we spoke earlier, we had a case that he did 1 sin and he had 8 sets of lashes, right? So let's say it was Yom Tov, and he plowed on Yom Tov. The plowing gets malkut lashes for plowing Yom Tov, and also with a Shemitah year, right? So a Shemitah year, you're not allowed to plow, right? So he plowed in the Shemitah year, and then also in the same act, he's obligated 2 sets of lashes. So how do we do it? Or he's obligated 8 sets of lashes. He did 8 sins at the same time. Do we go ahead and say, okay, give him 1 set of lashes today, give him another set of lashes, then when he gets better, let him come back for the second set of lashes. And then again, when he gets better, let him come back for the third set of lashes. Do we do it that way? Or do we say, no, we do something differently? So the Mishnah teaches us that we're going to do something for his, in a certain sense, for his benefit. We're going to estimate on these 2 sins that he did, 2 violations. How much could he handle? Now, for 2 sins, you're supposed to get 78 lashes, right? Each set 39. And they say he can only handle, let's say, 42. For the 2 sins, he can only handle 42 lashes. Then they say, we're going to give him 42 lashes. And you know what? He doesn't have to get the rest. The other 36, he's off the hook. He gets 42, and he's off the hook for the rest. 2 for the price of 1, but he is getting 3 more at that moment than just 39. But he gets off the hook from the rest. That's what the Mishnah states. Good morning, Mr. Silverman.
Morning.
Okay, Rabbi. On the Mishnah Chafbet Amabei 22b. The Ava Avera. So if he went ahead and he did the sin sheyeshna shnei lavim, that he has 2 violations which carry with the 2 sets of lashes. Now, amduhu omer echad. They estimated him. They made an estimation on these 2 violations. Can he handle 78 lashes? And they made an estimation. So whatever they estimated, if they estimated 78, they'll give him 78. If they so they estimated 1 estimation, which would also seem to or indicate if he could handle more than 39, if he handled whatever that, they made one estimation for those two sins. If he can handle 78, he got 78. He handled 42, he got 42 for those two sins. Look at Upatur. And then he is Patur. He doesn't have to get the 7 total. We don't say, okay, we owe him 30 lashes. We owe him 36 lashes because he only got 42 out of the 78. No, he got the 42 out of the 78. He goes home, and that's it. Vimlav, but if they did not make the estimation on the two prohibitions at one time, let's say he sinned, he came to court today, he did it with one sin, and they estimated he could do 39. And then the following day, they brought him to court for another sin. So each sin was, so it was separate. If they only estimated him on one, if let's say they only estimate him on one lav, look at, he gets lashes for that particular violation, and then umisrape, and then let's say he did another violation, he gets healed. He's going to go ahead and get lashes for the second violation. So what's the story? If he comes to, what's the second case? If he comes to court together with two violations on him, and they gave an estimation for the two violations. So depending on how much he can handle on those two violations, how much he's going to get. But the imlav, but let's say he was, they only gave him one, they only estimated one estimation, right? Even if, let's say, it sounds like from the Mishnah, that let's say he has another violation on him, but they did not estimate, he did not come for estimation for that other violation. If he came for two violations, the court heard two violations, we're going to deal with how much can he handle for the two violations. He can handle all 78, we'll give him 78. He can handle only 42, we'll give him 42 for those two violations. But what happens if the court only heard about, let's say they did not make any estimation for the other case. Let's say he had multiple violations, but they did not estimate the multiple violations. They estimated only one violation for him. So then what will happen is, and then he goes ahead and he gets the lashes for that violation. And let's say a day later, he's still weak from from yesterday's lashes. What they're going to do is they're going to wait for him to get better. And then because another violation was brought against him, he did another sin. So we're going to wait morning Aliyah. And then we're going to go ahead and wait till he gets better from the first lashes. He would have been much better if they would have had both violations on him when he came to the court for the first violation. But when they came to the court for the violation, there was only one violation on it. So if there's only one violation on him when he came to court, so they're going to do that. They're going to do that, and they gave a estimate based on that one sin. Both did not come together. So then he's going to get lashes for that. Then tomorrow we're not going to estimate the next thing until he gets healed, and then we're going to make the next estimation on that second violation. It would have been much better if it would have come together. The two would have come together when the court was estimating, but since they did not come together, and there was already a estimation on the first violation, so then he's going to just get that violation, that punishment, and we're going to wait till he gets healed, and then we're going to estimate the second violation. That's not the case of our Mishnah. Let's look. Right, the case that right. If he did an avera that he did.
I think the second half of the court makes a mistake and only estimates for the first set.
The commission is not talking, it doesn't say that they made a mistake, but the commission didn't say that in love, if they only, the mission is not a clarify. Right, but then okay, a question, but I rather say that the court didn't make a mistake, but rather he only had one Avera that came to the court at that time. Right, Rashi, the Rivan said, if they did not estimate him one estimation for both sins, rather for one sin. Now the question would be, why did they estimate only for one sin? So you could say that only one sin came in front of the court today, and therefore they made an estimation on that one sin. So now they're going to wait. Now that some people are going to come down to court and say he did another sin. Could we now group the second? Now there's a second violation, but there was only, but the court made the estimation. It was only estimation on the first sin by itself. So then once it's estimated on that one sin, so it sounds like from the Mishnah, we're not going to. That's it. We're going to just deal with that now, and then after that gets dealt with, then we're going to deal with the next violation, and we're not going to group them together unless they came together to the court. So let's see what the Gemara says. But Tanya, in one area, Ein omdin omed echad l'shnei lavim. The Gemara says, we won't do one estimation for two violations at the same time. Good morning, Morris. We don't do, a guy has two violations, right? Some of the guy has two tickets, right? He was speeding and was talking on the cell phone. So you go to court. The court a lot of times will deal with both crimes, both things at one shot. Sometimes the court says no, we're going to make them separate. They're separate tickets. We're not going to be dealing with both at the same time. So the Breita seems to say, we don't go ahead and make one estimation for two violations. We don't do it. We don't group them together, the two violations at one time, which would seem to indicate that if there was two violations, we're going to go ahead, give the guy lashes for the first violation. And then he's going to get healed and come back for the second violation. And that's a contradiction to the Mishnah, because the Mishnah indicated we're going to go ahead and group both violations together, and we're going to make one estimate on both violations. How much can the guy handle? And if he can't handle 78, the two violations, each one is 39, we'll give him what he can handle. And if we give him 42, he gets 42. And he's off the hook. He doesn't have to get the other 36. He'll get 39 for this violation and 3 for the other violation. So that's what the Gemara is going to say. The Gemara says, "Look, kasha. One case is different case, different law, right, Mr. Haber? One case is they said, we're always going to, if he comes to court with two violations, we're always going to look at the two violations. We're looking to help the guy. But in order to do one estimate for two violations, he has to be able to get some lashes for each of those violations. Meaning to say, he has to be able to get 39 for violation number 1, and at least 3 for violation number 2. And we're going to explain why in a minute. If he could handle at least 42 lashes, then he's off the hook. Now, of course, if he can handle 78, we're going to give him 78. If he can handle 60 for those 2 sins, we're going to give him 60. But if he can't handle 40, a minimum of 42, if he can only handle 41, then what we're going to do is we're only going to give him 39 for one violation, and then he's going to come back to court when he gets healed for the second violation. He needs to get at least 3. He has to be able to handle, good morning, Yosef, at least 3. Yes, morning. Now, why is that? Because remember, the law is you only could split the lashes. It has to be divided by 3. It has to be whatever, you can't give him lashes a number that's not divided by 3. That means the minimum lashes you could ever give a guy is 3. That's what it would come out. 3 you could divide it by 3, 1, because remember, because we give the lashes 1 on this shoulder, we give a third on this shoulder, a third on this shoulder, and a third on the chest. So we got it has to be divided by 3. You can't give a guy 5 lashes. You can give a guy, in that case, you just give a guy 3 lashes. If the guy can only handle 5 lashes, you give him 3 lashes. He can handle 7 lashes, you give the guy 6 lashes. Okay? So now, once you pass the number 39, 39 is 13, 13, and 13. If you want to get to the next number that we divide by 3, it's 42. 14, 14, and 14. 41 and 40 doesn't do it, and not divided by 3. Therefore, you would not give the guy 41 lashes. You would not give the guy 40 lashes. But if he's able to handle 42 or more, if he can handle 42, so we'll say you'll give him 42. And what happens when you gave him 42, that means you've given him 39 for one violation, and you've given him 3 for the other violation. God bless you. The fact that he got 3 for the other violation is good enough. He's gotten something from that violation that, based on this first estimation, then he's off the hook for the next 36 lashes that he was supposed to get 78. He gets away with 42 lashes. And he can go home. He doesn't have to come back and get healed for the next 36. So they'll wait. What's that? He did 2 sins and he can't handle one. So they wait. 1 sin. I would think they would have to wait till he gets healed. I would think if a guy. No. You can't. No, you won't do that. You wait. You can't. You have to wait if a guy sinned and he can only handle 2 lashes. So what do? You don't give him the 2 lashes until they can handle 3. Minimum of 3. You have to I would think we'd have to reassess. He had to get a minimum of 3. That's what it would seem like. Minimum of 3, because it has to be divided by 3. If you have 2 sins, on him, what did they estimate? If he has 2 sins on him, did 1 action, now they estimate, how much did they estimate? 12 total, he only can handle 12. So what we do is, according to this understanding, we would just we'll give him 12 today, and then he has to wait, and then he'll come back for the other 30. We'll reassess how we do it for the next, when he gets healed. Why isn't he off the hook? Because I would think that we're going to wait the same way we wait for the guy that I would think we're going to wait till he gets better to give him the lashes. That's what it would. We're going to have to check that up, Mr. Safdie. I mean, if the guy can't handle anything, will we say wait till the guy gets healed to be able to? Because if the only thing we had in the Mishnah is if they estimate the Gemara, if they made an estimation, and after they made it that he could handle a certain amount of lashes, and then they made a mistake in the estimation. Not they made a mistake. The Gemara says that they made an estimation today, and then a day later, he already was weakened without them doing anything. But the Beis Din had paskin. They had given a decision. We're going to give him a certain amount of lashes. Then, if they change from that original decision, being that it was a proper estimation that he could handle a certain amount of lashes, and then he subsequently couldn't handle it, so we said he's off the hook because they made a proper estimation, except he got weaker on his own. But they estimated that he's going to get lashes, and like Rash, the Rivan says, he was embarrassed in court that he was embarrassed in court regarding that he was going to get 39 lashes. He was embarrassed with that evaluation. If a guy is not embarrassed with the evaluation, if the court never said we could give him anything because he's not well to give him anything, I don't see that. If the court never estimated that he could handle anything, it's hard to say that he should be off the hook. But today, the guy he comes to court and the guy is sick. and the court says he can't handle anything, are we gonna say he's off the hook because he can't handle anything? I would think not. I would think if he was sick and the court says we can't handle anything, we're not gonna give him, we'll wait till he gets better and then we'll give him lashes. That's what it would seem to be. Okay. Now the Mishnah says the following. Kate said Malkanoto. We've been talking about lashes the whole time. That's the name of the parrot. How do we give the guy lashes? What is the way that a guy, is he standing tall? Is he sitting? Is he lying on the floor? How do you give him, what's the situation that lashes are performed? So the Mishnah says like this. We tie its two hands on like a pillar. There was a wooden type of thing that they had stuck into the ground, and he would go ahead and bend. We're going to see he's going to bend over in a certain sense, like you see this amud that I'm standing on over here, right? So imagine this it's similar to this, like a piece of wood stuck into the ground, and the the piece of wood does not come up all the way over here up to the person's chest, because his chest has to be available to get hit. So therefore, it's something like certain height, not so high, and the guy's we're gonna tie his hands to the side of this, one hand to this side, one hand to this side. It's going to be tied, and he's going to be bent over like that when he's going to get hit. That's what the Mishnah, and we'll see more. Why is it done in this fashion? So it says, "Kofet shtei yadav ala amud." We go ahead and we tie both hands on this wooden amud, this wooden pillar that's in front of him, which reaches up to his chest. And halech lehalech, we tie each hand on each side of this pillar. The Chazan HaKnesset and the Shamash, the one who's the attendant of the court, he's the agent of the court, Ochez b'bgadav. He holds his, let's say his shirt, and he grabs the shirt in order to take off the shirt from this guy, because he can't be wearing his shirt when he gets the lashes, because and when he takes off the shirt, if it rips when he takes it off, it rips. If he tears it, and the Gemara is going to say this is part of the embarrassment to the person who did this sin intentionally, that he should have kapara. Embarrassment is part of the atonement process. That if it happens when the agent of the court takes off the guy's shirt, if he rips it, what do you say? Right? Very good. If it ripped, it ripped. If let's say this, if it went on, let's say where the stitches are, if it didn't rip the garment, sometimes you rip it, in the middle of the garment, so you rip it on the seam. So if it ripped it on the seam, ripped on the seam. Whatever, however it's not that's not inappropriate if that's what happens. Now, don't be so careful. Meaning, the guy from the court doesn't have to be so careful how he takes off the clothing of the guy. You're saying why is the order like this? That's what you're saying, right? Yes. It could be that if you have, maybe he would. I wonder if he would resist. Maybe I wonder. Maybe Dr. Navid wants to know why is the order like this? Why does the Mishnah say that now we're talking about the clothing now? But listen, if it was ripped off now, right? We want to lift it up. The point is we want to lift up the clothing. That's the point. We want to lift up the clothing that is skin, because the lashes has to go directly on his body, not on his clothing. So now we're going to lift it up. So if he, when he handles it and he's taking it off, so even if it rips, there's no problem. Achu megaleh, achu umagala es libo, right? And he goes ahead and he exposes the chest of the person. See, so the Mishnah says that what do? We go ahead, Ashahu, until we go ahead, we take off on both on the front and the back. We want to make sure that Ashahu Magalas Libo, until you expose his chest. The Evan the Tuna Macharav. There was a stone in back of the person. The guy, the agent of the court, he was standing on a little stone. He was standing from a little height when he went ahead and he hit the guy. And why was he on a little height? That gives him a little bit more strength. Good morning. To hit when he hits the guy. If you're a little higher up, it's a little bit. If you're at the same height as the guy and you're going like that, not the same as when you're standing a little higher and you're going like that. So it gives him some understand. The reason for this height is in order that he should give him a little bit of more strength when he hits him. So we're talking now about the lashes that are going to be administered. How was it administered? So he stands on this little stone that's in back of him, and he's not now the guy, the agent of the court, is hitting the guy, not facing him face to face. He's in back of him. He doesn't see the guy. He knows he's about to get hit. Like you go to a doctor's office, the doctor's about to give the what do you call it? The needle. So you don't want to look. A lot of people close their eyes. They don't want to see the doctor giving the needle, right? So it's very scary sometimes when the doctor gives the needle. So here, some explain, in order not to scare the guy who's getting hit, he's not facing the guy. The guy who's doing the hitting of the court agent is not standing in front of him, but rather where is the court agent standing? In back of him. He's standing like this. The guy who's getting hit is standing like this. And the guy who's hitting him is standing on a stone in back of him. He doesn't see the guy who's hitting him. He knows he's getting hit, but that's going to take away some of the fear. We don't want to, maybe it's to take it a little easier for the guy who's getting hit. And maybe that will also be able to help him be able to get the amount of lashes that he's deserving to get. Right, Adam? He's supposed to get 39. But if the guy's going to have a heart attack, or if the guy's going to be so nervous and so scared by seeing the guy who's actually hitting him, so we don't. That's why the Mishnah says that the Evan the Tuna Macharav, the stone was in back of him. Chazan HaKnesset Omer Eleha, and the Chazan of the Knesset, the one who's doing the agent of the court, is standing on the stone. And in his hand, he had a strap, a leather strap that came from a calf. And the Gemara is going to explain why specifically a calf. Why can't it be from another animal, right? It's specifically a calf. Now, Kfula Echad L'Shnayim. This strap was folded to two. And after they folded the strap, the two, then they went ahead. Let's say we take a little paper over here, we fold it to two, and then they went ahead and they folded it again. So then it was a total of four. It was like 4 layers. The strap was like a 4-layer strap, right? Obviously, it gets more strength when it's folded to 4 than it's one layer. Now, in this strap, there was a unique strap. There was holes in the strap, and there was little mini straps of 2 little straps from this leather of a donkey that was also in this strap. And we're also going to see, the Gemara is going to explain that the calf and the donkey, they know their owner. They know where their food comes from. They have recognition for their owner. But here the person who goes ahead and does the sin has no recognition for his creator, for his owner, so to speak. And we'll talk more about that. So therefore it's like you acted lower than the donkey. The donkey knows who feeds him. Donkey know where he gets his food, who takes care of him, and you, the person who goes ahead and does the sin, is forgetting about Hashem. We should always remember Hashem, never do a sin, never have any trouble. To be continued tomorrow with this fascinating description of how the guy gets his lashes. Have a great day. Jaime, thank you very much. Mr. Silverman,
Have a great day, Rabbi.
and Yosef,
Thank you, Rabbi.
thank you, all the
Great day,
best.
Rabbi.
You too.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Jaime, you got the lechtecha baderech. Got the
There
midst
you
of
go.
learning when you're traveling. Take care. All the best.
I'm traveling to you.
Oh, thank you very much. You too. Thank you very much. All the best. Mr. Safdie, all the best. Yes, looking forward. Yes, what did you say? Yes, thank you. You too. All the best, everybody. Everything,
Bye,
exactly, every point of the list. Right, because it's a pasuk. Yoda shakameh, charnei v'chamay v'sbala, based on that pasuk.
No, yeah, also.
Thank